There is something happening inside your body right now that you cannot feel, cannot see, and most likely have never been warned about. Not by your doctor, not by the nutrition labels you read carefully at the grocery store, and certainly not by the health influencers whose advice you've been following for years. And the most unsettling part of what I'm about to tell you is this. The danger I'm talking about is not coming from the foods you already know are bad for you. It is not coming from the fast food you occasionally feel guilty about. It is not coming from the donuts, the processed snacks, or the sodas you already avoid. The danger I'm talking about is coming from the foods you chose on purpose, the foods you switched to, the food sitting in your kitchen right now because you made a conscious decision to take better care of yourself. Think about that for a moment. Every morning, millions of Americans wake up and make what they believe are smart, responsible choices about what goes into their bodies. They blend the spinach. They pour the almond milk. They grab the protein bar before heading out. They heat up the soup that says, "Heart healthy" on the label. And they do all of this believing, genuinely, completely believing, that these choices are protecting them, that these choices are adding years to their lives, that these choices are exactly what their bodies need. But what if that belief has been quietly, systematically wrong? What if some of the foods that carry the strongest reputation for being healthy in this country are doing something to one of your most vital organs that you would never suspect? Something slow, something invisible, something that builds up over months and years without a single warning sign until the damage is already done. I want to tell you something about your kidneys that most people don't learn until it's far too late to matter. Your kidneys are two of the hardest working organs in your entire body. Right now, as you're listening to this, they are filtering your entire blood supply, every drop of it, approximately every 30 minutes. They regulate your blood pressure. They control your fluid balance. They remove waste products that would become toxic if they stayed in your system for more than a few hours. They do all of this continuously, silently, without ever asking for anything in return. And here is the part that should genuinely stop you cold. Your kidneys can lose up to 75% of their functional capacity before you feel a single symptom. 75%, 3/4 of their function gone before fatigue sets in, before swelling appears, before any number on any blood test raises a red flag at your annual physical. The medical community calls this silent kidney damage, and it is far more common than most people realize. Right now, approximately 1 in 7 American adults has some degree of chronic kidney disease, and the majority of them have no idea. Now, here is where everything you thought you knew gets turned upside down. The conversation about kidney health in this country has always focused on the obvious culprits. Too much alcohol, too much red meat, uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled high blood pressure, and yes, all of those things matter. But what nobody is talking about loudly enough is the other side of the equation. The side where well-intentioned people who are actively trying to protect their health, are unknowingly putting their kidneys under a kind of chronic low-grade stress that accumulates over years. Not because they're being reckless, but because the information they've been given is incomplete. 7 foods. 7 foods that have earned some of the strongest health reputations in American nutrition. 7 foods that are marketed, recommended, and consumed every single day by people who believe they are doing something good for their bodies. And every single one of them, under the right conditions, and in the patterns most people actually eat them, can silently overload the filtration system that keeps you alive. Stay with me until the end of this video, because one of the foods on this list is eaten every single morning by millions of Americans who specifically chose it as a healthier alternative. And what it does inside the kidneys is something that will completely change the way you think about your breakfast. If this is the kind of information you want more of, the real science behind the foods and habits that affect your long-term health, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button, because what comes next is going to matter. Let's start with something sitting in virtually every health-conscious American refrigerator right now. Something in smoothie recipes, salad bowls, and breakfast blends across the country. something doctors have recommended for decades as one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables you can eat. Spinach. Spinach is genuinely nutritious. Iron, magnesium, folate, antioxidants. None of that is in dispute. What is in dispute is what happens when you consume it every single day, in the quantities wellness culture now encourages, especially after 50. Spinach is extraordinarily high in oxalates. When oxalate levels in the blood consistently run high, which happens when someone drinks a spinach smoothie every morning and eats a spinach salad at lunch, those oxalates begin binding with calcium inside the kidney tubules. What forms are microscopic crystals accumulating inside the most delicate filtration structures in your body? Imagine fine sand building up, grain by grain, inside a filter processing your entire blood supply every 30 minutes. The National Kidney Foundation has specifically flagged high oxalate foods as a significant concern for individuals over 50 with any degree of reduced kidney function. The lesson is not that spinach is poison. The lesson is that something genuinely healthy can become genuinely problematic when consumed daily in the quantities that current health culture treats as virtuous. If spinach surprised you, prepare yourself for number 2, because this one involves a trade millions of Americans made on purpose, feeling proud of it. Almond milk. Commercial almond milk is not just almonds and water. It contains phosphate additives used as stabilizers and emulsifiers, absorbed at dramatically higher rates than naturally occurring phosphorus. Elevated phosphorus places a measurable burden on kidney filtration, particularly as that capacity quietly declines with age. Add the oxalate content from almonds themselves, and you have a product doubling down on the same mechanism. A woman, 67, started a daily health smoothie after retiring. Almond milk, spinach, protein powder. She was proud of it. 8 months later, her creatinine had shifted and early kidney stone formation had appeared on imaging. She had changed nothing else. She had only started doing what she believed was the healthiest thing she had ever done for herself. Understanding the mechanism is the first step, but protecting kidney function long-term involves a complete approach that goes well beyond what any single video can cover. And that brings us to number 3, the fitness industry's symbol of discipline. Protein bars. Your kidneys don't read labels. They see nitrogen, the byproduct of protein metabolism, and filter every gram of it out of your blood. When someone consumes 30 or 40 grams of heavily processed protein in a single bar, combined with phosphate additives and hidden sodium, the kidney response has a name in nephrology: hyperfiltration. Sustained over years, hyperfiltration is a documented pathway to progressive kidney damage. Think of your kidneys as a filtration facility built for steady, predictable volume. Now imagine doubling that volume repeatedly, for years. The machinery wears faster. The damage accumulates exactly the way silent kidney damage always does, invisibly, painlessly, until the day it isn't. You were not wrong for choosing protein bars over worse options. You were working with incomplete information, and that is exactly why you are still watching this. Number 4 is comfort. It is practicality. It is the thing millions of older adults reach for on a cold evening, when cooking a full meal feels like too much, and the label says heart healthy, so it feels like a responsible choice. Canned soup. A single serving of many popular canned soups contains between 800 and 1200 milligrams of sodium, and most people do not eat a single serving, they eat the can. That means your kidneys in one sitting are processing a sodium load that can exceed half of what your entire body should handle in a full day. Here is what that looks like inside. The excess sodium creates pressure that forces fluid into your bloodstream, and your kidneys compensate by increasing the pressure running through millions of microscopic filtration units called glomeruli. Approximately 1 million per kidney, extraordinarily fine, extraordinarily sensitive to chronic stress. The American Heart Association has documented the direct relationship between sustained high sodium intake and progressive kidney function loss, independent of blood pressure diagnosis. You do not need to be hypertensive for the damage to occur. It accumulates silently regardless, now. I told you at the beginning that one of these foods would be the hardest to believe. one that carries almost a sacred reputation in American nutrition. Whole wheat bread. Whole wheat has been the cornerstone of American healthy eating guidance for decades. On the food pyramids, in the dietary guidelines, the switch every well-meaning family made when they decided to eat better. And in its traditional, minimally processed form, whole grain bread does offer real nutritional value, but that is not what most Americans are eating. Most Americans are eating an industrially manufactured product that has learned to wear the language of health as a marketing strategy. The words whole wheat on a package do not tell you about the phosphate additives used to extend shelf life. They do not tell you about the sodium that frequently rivals canned soup. They do not tell you about the added sugars driving glycemic spikes that over time damage the microvasculature, supplying your kidneys with the oxygen they need to function. Your body responds very differently to traditional stone-ground bread and to a factory-engineered product designed to look and feel like health. Healthy branding and biological reality are not the same thing, and your kidneys cannot read the front of the package. Before we go further, if you have been recognizing your own kitchen, your own breakfast routine in what I am describing, that recognition matters. The foods we have covered point to something larger, a system connecting everything you consume across decades to how your kidneys function. That system requires more than awareness of individual foods to fully protect. If you want a complete, structured approach that addresses the full picture, the link is in the description and pinned in the first comment right now. The QR code is on your screen if you are watching on television. Go there now. What you will find has helped thousands of people over 50 take real, measurable control of their kidney health in under 30 days. Do not wait until a blood test tells you it is time to pay attention. Number 6 is the breakfast millions of Americans assemble with genuine pride. Yogurt, granola, fresh berries. It looks like the cover of every wellness magazine ever printed. It feels like evidence you are taking care of yourself. Flavored yogurt. The first problem is the sugar. Not the number on the label, but the cumulative effect of that sugar hitting your bloodstream every morning, year after year. Many popular flavored yogurt products contain between 15 and 25 grams of added sugar per serving. That repeated glycemic spike promotes glycotoxicity, gradual damage to the microvasculature, the smallest blood vessels in your body. And the kidneys are among the most microvascularly dense organs you have. The CDC estimates that diabetes and prediabetes, driven largely by repeated glycemic stress, are the leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. Many of those people believed they were eating carefully. The second problem is phosphate additives, the same category we identified in almond milk and protein bars. The pattern is not coincidence. It is a feature of industrial food manufacturing that your kidneys pay for silently. A man, 71, retired, still walking 3 miles every morning. Careful about what he ate. At a routine physical, his doctor found early but measurable kidney decline. No symptoms, no warning. Only the habits he had maintained for years, including a breakfast he assembled with care every morning, believing it was one of the best things he did for his health. His story does not end in catastrophe, but it changed how he understood the relationship between daily choices and organs he could not see or feel. You have been here long enough to know this is real. The information in this video explains the mechanism, but rebuilding protection requires a complete system, not just awareness. If you are serious about your kidney health, the link is in the description and pinned in the first comment right now. The QR code is on your screen if you are watching on television. Thousands of people over 50 have already used this to take measurable control of their kidney health in under 30 days. You can keep waiting, or you can act now. Every day without a plan is another day the silent damage continues. The decision is yours. Now, number 7, I saved this one for last deliberately. Diet soda. The switch from regular to diet felt like the responsible trade for decades. You were removing the sugar. You were reducing the calories. Millions made that choice and felt good about it for 30 or 40 years. Here is what accumulated alongside the habit. Phosphoric acid, present in most cola-based diet drinks, places a direct documented burden on kidney filtration and contributes to an acidic urinary environment linked to kidney stone formation. The Nurses' Health Study found a significant association between regular diet soda consumption and declining kidney function, even after controlling for other variables. Artificial sweeteners add a second layer. Research suggests they may disrupt insulin signaling and promote low-grade inflammation that damages the same renal microvasculature we have been discussing throughout this video. And here is the payoff this entire video has been building toward. The greatest danger to your kidneys is not the obvious choices. It is not the foods you already feel guilty about. It is the accumulation of small, daily, invisible aggressions, each one appearing harmless in isolation, each one validated by someone's marketing department, each one repeated thousands of times across decades. Not in a single dramatic moment. In the smoothie you made this morning, in the soup you heated last Tuesday, in the diet soda you opened because it seemed like the smarter option. The damage is silent, but so is the window to change it. Your kidneys have been working for you every single day of your life without asking for anything in return. Right now, as you finish watching this, they are filtering your blood, regulating your pressure, removing waste that would become toxic within hours if it stayed in your system. They have been doing this through every meal you ever ate, the ones you regret, and the ones you were proud of. Through every choice you made trying to be healthier. Through every swap, and every switch, and every label you read carefully in the grocery store aisle. And the most important thing I want you to take from everything we have covered today is this. The fact that some of those choices may have placed a quiet burden on your kidneys does not mean you failed. It means you were working with incomplete information in a food environment specifically designed to make the wrong things look like the right things. Spinach smoothies look like health. Almond milk looks like intelligence. Protein bars look like discipline. Whole wheat bread looks like responsibility. Flavored yogurt looks like balance. Diet soda looks like a smart trade. The marketing is sophisticated. The damage is invisible. And the gap between those two realities is exactly where silent kidney harm lives. But here is what else is true. Your kidneys are responsive organs. They are not static. The research is clear that reducing the chronic stressors we discussed today, managing oxalate load, reducing phosphate additives, controlling sodium, addressing glycemic stress, produces measurable improvements in kidney function markers, particularly in the earlier stages of decline. The window is not closed. For most people watching this right now, the window is still open. What you do consistently over the next 30, 60, 90 days matters in ways that a blood test 6 months from now will reflect. Small, consistent decisions. Not perfection, not a complete overhaul of every meal you have ever eaten. Just the awareness to look at what is on your plate with the same precision your kidneys bring to filtering everything that passes through them. If this video gave you something real today, and I believe it did, then do 3 things right now. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss what comes next. And tell me in the comments, which of these 7 foods surprised you the most? Because I read those comments, and your answer will help shape the next video we make together. What comes next on this channel matters. We are going to go deeper into the early warning signs that your kidneys send before any blood test catches them. The signs that most people mistake for normal aging, for tiredness, for getting older. Signs that are actually your body asking for something specific. If you are not subscribed yet, do it now, because that video is coming, and you do not want to find it 6 months after you needed it. Share this video with someone you care about, not just anyone, but that specific person in your life who starts every morning with a smoothie they are proud of, who switched to almond milk years ago and never looked back, who keeps a box of protein bars in the car because they are trying to do things right. They deserve this information before a blood test delivers it instead. You already have it. Give it to them. The people who watch this channel are not passive. They are the ones who ask better questions, who look at their habits honestly, who understand that real health is built in the choices no one sees, not the dramatic ones, but the daily ones. That is who you are. And that is exactly why you watched until the end.